how much can you tolerate in terms of when it comes to your training? Is there a limit to how much your body can tolerate before it starts to hurt, before it starts to break down? Tolerance is one of the things, a descriptive word that we use a lot within kind of integrating strength and conditioning, and the reasons why. Because essentially, as you look to get stronger, as you look to get fitter, and look to potentially run for greater distances or perform distances faster, you have to consistently increase your body's ability to tolerate the work that you want it to do. And what I want to kind of talk about today, guys, is a tolerance timeline. Okay, and this is something that I kind of talk about enough, but I probably never verbalized like this. But there is a tolerance timeline, and I answered a question on social media the other day, and it was just asking about how you progress someone's plyometrics when coming back from like a lower back pain symptoms, and it's a similar question when it comes to kind of lower body injuries like knee pain or ankle pain or plantar fasciitis or any of these kind of tendinopathies or overtraining symptoms. Essentially, an injury rehab program, a strength and conditioning program, is about building up your tolerance. Now, it obviously depends on you as to whether it's coming back from zero, where you've kind of, you've been injured and you're having to rebuild everything back, and you're actually starting at a deficit because actually you're in pain, so you're having to eradicate pain first. But essentially, we're looking to build back tolerance back up, within your joint structures, within your muscles, tendons, ligaments. Psychologically, we're trying to build up your tolerance again, so that and build up your mental and physical conditioning. But what I want you guys to be thinking about straight away is this imagery of, obviously, I want you to picture yourself when you are full tilt sprinting. Now, I'm not sure when the last time you ran fast was, but when you ran quickly the last time. So picture that version of you. Now, picture that version of you alongside a version of you who's just running a very easy, very steady state, kind of zone 2 effort. What do those two versions of you look like? What do they feel like? Okay, because they are going to look very different. Okay, from the coaching point of view, from the outside looking in, your body positions are going to look very different. When you are running at speed, when you're running with power, with intent, your joint angles, your body position is much more in flight. You're in attack mode. You're going to have very different joint angles to what you would have when you're running easy. You're going to be much more upright when you're running easy. You've got to be much more laid back. You're going to be much more relaxed potentially. When you're running with speed, power, fast, your body is going to be a lot more rigid. It's going to be, obviously, we want it to be fluid, but you're going to be, there's a lot more tensile strength within that body. The reason I talk about this, guys, is because a lot of you are struggling with injuries. Some of you are looking to get faster. You are looking to run longer distances more consistently. We are looking to build up your tolerance to work, and some of you are shying away from the very fact of the obvious, which is that you've got to be putting some significant intensity into your body to then build up this tolerance over time, to build in this deeper level of resilience. And some of you aren't doing that. Like some of you are playing it very safe. You're playing, you think that running at zone 2 efforts, just building up that intensity, that aerobic base, leaning more into that 80% effort instead of that 20% effort is the way forwards. And you're kind of, everything that you're reading, you're kind of shying away from the fact that how important being fast is, and being kind of working at these intensities is. And it's because you're slowly eroding away, guys. You're getting weaker. As you get older, we are getting weaker. Okay, our tendons and ligaments aren't increasing in strength if we're not working on them. They're just going to become. Your body is going to use less and less of what it needs to if it can get the same amount of work done without much effort, right? And as a result, you are just going to become more and more deconditioned, and your body kids yourself. And this is like a bit of a reflective moment, guys, because some of you are and have been kidding yourself for years, and the reason I can say this, guys, is because you've been injured for years, because you are able to, the fact that you're not able to put yourself in a position where you can actually put these types of higher intensities into your body and not be afraid of them and not fear them, then that's telling you your body doesn't have that level of tolerance, which in the long run, pardon the pun, but over the longer distances, your body is very likely to break down on you because you haven't got that tolerance, that resilience in your body. So, guys, what I want to talk about today is how we can combat that, what we need to be doing to build back that tolerance, build back that resilience. And everyone that we work with at Strength for Endurance, everyone within our team right now, and every one of our members and our clients and athletes, they are all on this. They're building up their own level of tolerance. And again, whether they're coming back from debilitating injury, back, knee, hip, injuries or surgeries or bone stress injuries, they are on this timeline where they're building back this tolerance back into their body. Okay, they're reconditioning their mind and bodies to the stresses that they want to put into it. But we certainly cannot and will never shy away from the fact that you need to be put intensity into your body. Okay, it literally is a foundation piece to your athleticism. If you're not placing regular, consistent levels of intensity into your body, it will not grow. It will your body will compensate. It will kind of continue getting the work done at its lower levels of intensity. And your body will slowly erode away on you, and it will compensate, and it will leverage wherever it needs to get leverage. And this is why we have all these other hip pains and knee pains and things, because your body is just being overloaded. Because the root of the problem is that you are fundamentally weak and deconditioned in areas that you just need to bring more strength to, more power to, more intensity to. As soon as you start doing that, by the way, in the right dosage, you start to see an immediate return of your investment, because you start to see an erratic, the pain starts to dissipate, because your body is suddenly utilizing more of what it hasn't been using in the past. It's stronger in certain muscle groups. It understands you've been training those plyometric qualities of like landing and jumping more frequently. So your body's not so shocked. Yeah. So your tolerance timeline is super, super important. I'm going to take you through 6 stages that are they're just logical, but what I want you to be leaning into when you're looking to build up your tolerance over time. All right. But just whilst we're talking about this, like, some of you fear running downhill. Some of you fear running fast. Some of you fear about going over a certain threshold right now. And even those of you who are relatively fit, who don't have any injuries, you still fear it. But it's because you don't know how to potentially appropriately, you're not following an appropriately designed program, or potentially you've never, or you haven't in a long, long time tested your body's abilities. But guys, if you want more, if you want to get over injuries, if you want to see better results week in, week out, month after month, the appropriate dosage of intensity to build up your tolerance is critical. And I think you, in your heart of hearts, you'll know this, because everyone around you, if you look at your role models within the sports you participate in, your friends at the track, etc., they are all able to handle to handle speed better than you, or to work on these levels of intensity, because potentially their tolerance is better than yours. And all we need to be doing, guys, is making sure that your body is strong enough, stable enough, conditioned enough, and then we build up that roadmap for you, so we can improve that tolerance over time. All right. So six steps, real simple, right? I really want to keep this as clear and as clean as possible, so you guys can really just start putting the work in where you need to build up that tolerance again. And guys, if you're running 50K a week, awesome. But if you're scared to run fast right now, or you're scared of an upcoming event because it's got more downhills, and the forces that are going to be going through your body in those descents and those ascents are the thing that you're scared about, it's because you lack tolerance and you lack that deeper level of resilience. So this is where, alongside your volume, we want you to be building up this tolerance as well. Okay, so this is where your strength and conditioning should be integrated week in, week out into your endurance programming, whether it's running, cycling, swimming, whatever it is, because it's going to help build up a greater tolerance, which is the key word of today. All right. So number 1, building stability and confidence, absolutely critical. I have worked with people who are up to running 100K a week who have zero confidence in their body. How is that possible? I don't know, and I find it amazing how I can work with individuals who can literally go out the door and put in 5 to 6 days worth of running or training, and when you ask them to jump up and down the spot, to jump on one leg, to laterally hop, to load a single leg, nothing. They're hesitant. There's fear. There is like a lack of confidence there. Guys, we have to build this in. Okay, this has to be there. Confidence is number 1 when it comes to developing a strength and conditioning program for you guys. This has to be absolutely critical, because that is the bedrock of your training moving forwards. Imagine having complete reckless confidence in your body. You're capable of anything. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out there who are kind of just keeping their efforts so steady state, and they're going all they're factoring in is the length of time or distance that they're traveling, but they lack the confidence, but they actually lack the stability and their confidence in their body. You gain that level 1. Well, that's something you should be really focusing on right at the start. Okay, so the first thing you want to be concentrating on is, do you have complete confidence in your body? Do you make light work of basic exercises such as single leg squats, single leg RDLs, being able to kind of jump up and down the spot, hop from one leg to another? Yep, those things should be front and center. If they're not, work on it. Number 2, building capacity and strength. Okay, we have got to start to really ask questions of key areas of you that you simply are lacking in. Okay, there's no longer do you go, oh, I've always been pretty weak here, then but I get by. It'll catch up with you. It always does, especially over the longer distances, especially when you put the efforts in, especially when you hit higher intensities. Your weaknesses will always catch up with you. The best athletes out there they may not all move the same, as in they all have different techniques potentially, but they all are relatively balanced in their levels of strength and conditioning. They don't have obvious areas of weakness. Okay, so we've got to be building up the levels of strength and capacity, so conditioning in those key muscle groups, and in your ability, in your joint structure's ability to tolerate load. So we want to start to load those key joints through upper body exercises, lower body exercises, posterior chain exercises, and plyometric based exercises, because we're trying to slowly build up the capacity and strength of all of your major muscle groups. All right, so no holes you should be aware of, and if they are, any money, they're the main reason that you guys are struggling right now, or not moving to the next level in your performance. Number 3, increasing your skill set. So we want to then, once you have this baseline of confidence, baseline of capacity and strength, we want to be building up your skill set. You want to have confidence in just being kind of thrown into a series of plyometric drills or just foot drills where you can literally perform A skips, you can perform sprint drills, deceleration exercises, you could hop from a box, down from a box, up onto another box, you can do numerous things, and there's no fear there. If you are contemplating whether I'm going to snap something, shatter something, tear something, what's that telling you? What is that, an anchor around your ankles right now? Yes, of course it is. And if no one's really telling you why or like how you can develop that, then it's just going to continue to do so. But what I'm saying is that if you've built confidence and stability in the beginning, you then build the capacity and the strength. You're then going to be moving into those kind of more complex skills, which actually just start from hopping from one leg to another potentially. You've got to go into those with a lot more confidence. Yep, a lot more kind of ability to perform those skills easily. Then we look to progress those. They should progress. This is when those plyometric drills come in. This is when the complexity of those plyometric drills should increase, so that you can then start to really believe that you can tolerate running downhill at full tilt and not worrying about it. Being able to punch those pedals, be able to hit the water and literally go to that red line it and not fear that you're gonna suddenly break something. Yeah, this is where you're starting to believe it. Number 4, building maximal strength and speed. Okay, you're good. Your body weight's strong. You're feeling pretty confident. Your body's feeling in a good place. But yet you still want to run UTMB this year. You want to do a multi-day event. You want to do a long course triathlon. You want to numerous goals. Yeah, you want to max out your potential. You have got to be tipping the, you want to be working on that maximal level of strength, maximal level of speed for your sport. What that looks like is always going to be based on the individual, but you want to be knowing that you can handle your own body weight for fun. Okay, that is literally the basics, guys. You should be able to manage weights that hover around your body weight, and you should be able to tolerate those, because you literally throw your own body weight around for fun in your sports, in your daily life. And the fact that you're starting to hurt and you struggle is because your body can no longer handle how much you weigh. Okay, you need to be stronger pound for pound. You do that, everything gets easier. Your running economy, your position on the bike, your watts per kilo, your stroke rate, like in the water, like everything gets easier because you've nudged your maximal level of strength up. And we're not asking a lot here. We're doing two or three sessions a week, but you are building up that tolerance, and your body's going to be able to handle so much more because of it. Number 5, training speed and power. Okay, you have built up this, you've earned the right. You've gone through these other 4 steps. You've got to step 5. This is when we can start to really push you. This is when you're up at the track and you're shoulder to shoulder with that front group, or within the group that you feel confident with, and you're running at speed and you're recovering well and you're running at speed again. And you're actually, week in, week out, you're getting more out of your body. And you are doing that because you have more to offer. You have built up this tolerance over time. You have got confident. You've built up capacity. You've increased your skill set. Your brain and your neuromuscular ability is that much better. Your maximal strength is higher than it's ever been. Then suddenly speed is just something that is just there suddenly. And you're like, oh, I don't know where it's come from. It's come because you're stronger. Okay. And if you want more power, you want more speed, you want more endurance, you need to be a stronger version of yourself. So, okay, number 5 is the training speed and power, and how we do that. It's going to be based upon your sport and based upon your programming. And then number 6, building volume alongside all of this. All right. So you are kidding yourself if you think you can keep pushing and pushing and pushing the body in those high volume, high kind of high endurance environments, and not expect your body to kind of erode away and break down on you. We are combating age, we are combating deconditioning, we are combating your lifestyle, your previous injuries. And so we have got to, there's nothing wrong with us building volume, but you had better be building up all that tolerance alongside it. And some of you aren't, like, literally are just ignoring it. You're just hoping that you're going to get to where you want to be and you're going to be able to somehow manage it. There is not a single athlete in the world that is not in any other sport that is not doing some form of maintenance work, strength and conditioning work, that is going to be supplementing and helping maintain their level of tolerance, but also building upon that. Okay, the reason we break down with injury is because our body is going beyond it. You're overreaching it. You're overtraining it. It doesn't have enough of what you want from it. So this is why we have to have it in there. But this tolerance, this not being in pain, it's going to come from you periodically, week in, week out, a couple of sessions a week, targeting all of these qualities, making sure your confidence is high, making sure you're building capacity in your hamstrings, your glutes, etc., making sure that you're building up your maximal levels of strength and working on your plyometric drills. But because then once you have that level of confidence and ability, boom, we start to train speed with even more power, with even more kind of an injection of speed, and you're suddenly just a completely different athlete. And this is not a young person's game, by the way. We're doing this with 50, 60, 70-year-olds who are still seeing these types of returns of investment, where they're putting time and effort into this mindset, and they're getting these types of results. You are delusional if you think you're going to be faster in the future and you're going to remain faster if you're not building up an absolute bedrock of strength to support that. You have got to be the strongest, most stable, most confident version of yourself. You cannot afford to have any weaknesses if you want to be faster than you've ever been, if you want to go longer than you've ever been, if you want to have the most adventure with your body over the next 12 months. You've got to be putting you've got to have this type of mindset, and this tolerance timeline, which I brought to you today, guys, hopefully is logical, right? Like, it starts with confidence. It starts with you really knowing that your body is firing in all cylinders, that it has no obvious weaknesses. If you do, there it is. And if you don't know what they are, because you probably never had a conversation with a professional that's actually kind of dialed in on you, we do this day one, because it's like literally understanding this is going to give you that real clarity as to what you need. Because then if it's obvious, then we're going to make it work on it, because then we're going to get some real quick returns, which is what you want. You want to see real quick returns of your investment in terms of your time, your effort, and your money. Yeah, and it's super, super important that we get that from in the first few weeks, and we do. The things that you see on our socials, etc., is social media, etc., is because these results are coming in thick and fast, because they're coming from a place where we have built up this tolerance back into these individuals' bodies. People who have been on their back with back pain for months, and then suddenly they're out getting second in their age group months later, because we've built up that tolerance. We haven't just thrown them into a program and wished them well. It's about building up that confidence again, building up that capacity. We don't always get it right. It's not always a linear progression, but we have to ebb and flow, and based on feedback we adjust things. But it's there. It's really there. And whether it's innocence, ignorance, arrogance, whatever it is, like, step back, be aware, like, why can't you tolerate the type of work that you need to be doing? You need to be working on more speed and more intensity to build in that deeper level of resilience. You can't just be doing steady state work. It's not going to serve you. It's not going to give you that top end speed, but it's also just going to erode away at you. Like, these overtraining symptoms are all because people just continue to follow a same rhythm, and their bodies just die. They just dwindle away because they literally, there's no stimulus there. We need that progressive stimulus all the time in a training program, with obvious deloads and recoveries. But we want that growth. And that growth is only going to come from us building up this tolerance in the background. All right. So, guys, think about your positions. Go all the way back to that imagery right at the beginning of this, and think about your body when it's in full flight and when it's in that easy, steady state. You are very well. You film it, have a look at it. These are very different versions of you, and there's a reason why you struggle to hold those positions. Is because you simply are lacking right now. You don't have that conditioning. You don't have the tolerance to hold those positions for long periods of time, and this is why the body starts to fall apart, struggles, and it starts to hurt. It starts to, these injuries start to creep in, because at those higher levels of stress and strain and speed, or in terms of duration, your body starts to mechanically fall apart. And this is what we're looking to build in. We're looking to stress test you on a daily, weekly basis within your S&C work, so that you can keep turning up to your sessions and pushing the envelope and really going for it. But it only comes through us working on this level of tolerance. Some of you are coming from a place that you are incredibly kind of inflamed and irritable, because you've been kind of working with these injuries for a while. But the same concept, we have to build up this tolerance. Even if you're pain free right now and you're flying right now 50 to 100k a week, or you have multiple sessions, question whether you are holding back still, and why are you holding back still? Is it because you still are holding on to some obvious things that you need to be working on, and it's just getting it into your program? Weekly accountability, that is, and you will literally move to the next level in your performance. I promise. It's exact, because it's just logic. Okay, when you step back and look at it from a coaching eye, it's there. It's just the fact, yep, that individual is struggling because of X, because they can't handle, they're starting to break down at this position, or at this time, or at this point in their efforts. What's our job? Build up the tolerance, build up their strength, build up the conditioning, build up their areas of weakness. We do that, level up. You will level up. All right, guys. So 6 points for you guys to think about. Definitely one. This is this is something that you can instigate into your programming. You can start bringing in anytime, but it's working through those phases. It's just going to be critical in terms of building up your long-term kind of performance and health. All right, guys. Speak to you soon.